Bringing you the latest news from around the world and here at home, I'm Sandaru Ferdinando.
And I'm Dasni Athada. Let's start off with a look at tonight's headlines.
Special expose regarding a director of a state bank who obtained a 10 billion rupee loan from the same bank. Residents of Suryavava who surrounded the divisional secretariat demanding compensation dispersed. Railway strike temporarily called off. A Chinese national arrested in Hambantota for a bribe of 20,000 rupees. UNESCO has not issued recommendations to remove the constructions at the Galle Stadium, a statement from the former Director of Conservation of the Department of Archaeology.
Tensions flared during a demonstration which was held today demanding compensation for those who lost their property during the extension of the Adisia Road in Hambantota.
It has been 45 days today since those residing on either sides of the Adisia Road began their demonstration. The group launched a demonstration this morning obstructing both entrance routes to the Suryavava Divisional Secretariat.
We held constant demonstrations, and every time we did, they came and made false promises. They only deceived us without giving us proper answers.
We are asking for a compensation. We did not damage anyone's property. It was the state officials who got together and destroyed our property. So give us our compensation and we will leave. The Assistant Superintendent of Police for Hambantota, who arrived at the location, notified the protesters to move from the road.
රාජකාරී බාධා වීම සම්බන්ධව රාජකාරී බාධා කිරීමත් කරකිරීමත් සම්බන්ධව උසාවි නියෝගයක් කරන් දෙනවා. සියලු දෙනාටම විනාඩි 5ක් දෙනවා. මෙතනින් ඉවත් කරලා යන්න.
The protesters who were demonstrating opposite the divisional secretariat were obstructing the Suryavava and Bilipiti road. Thereafter, police took measures to disperse the protesters.
The Desha newspaper reports that a director of a state bank who also holds positions at several affiliated financial institutions has obtained a loan of 10 billion rupees from the state bank for his private institutions.
According to the report in the Desha newspaper, the loan is said to be the largest loan ever granted since the inception of the state bank over the past 65 years. The loan facility has been approved in stages with the approval of the bank's director board and loans committee. When the Desha newspaper had made inquiries from the chairman of the state bank, he had confirmed the truth of the matter, noting that the director had approved such a large loan to a group of private companies. However, he also claimed that this transaction had been carried out in a proper manner. The state bank chairman was also questioned on whether there was no issue of a conflict of interest, given the connections between the director and the group of companies that had been granted the loan. However, he had said that he could not respond. Inquiries made by Newsfirst revealed that the loan of 10 billion rupees had been made to CML Walkers, a construction contractor by the state-owned People's Bank. Responding to inquiries made by Newsfirst, the chairman of the large-scale loan board at People's Bank, Dr. Aminda Metsila, noted that the bank had already loaned about 50 billion rupees to this company as of 2014. He noted that the company had repaid this loan. Dr. Metsila added that accordingly, loans could be issued to the company in question with a credit limit of 50 billion rupees. According to the 2016-17 annual report of CML Walkers, Jehan Amratunga is the executive vice president of the group. He is also a member of the board of directors of People's Bank and has served in that position since 2010. The chairman of the bank at the time of Amratunga's appointment was Gamini Sinarath. The company CML Walkers has been awarded contracts for the construction of many government projects, including roads and bridges. Among these is a contract for the construction of a section of Stage 2 of the Central Expressway. Is it fair for an individual who serves as a director of a state bank to obtain a 10 billion rupee loan from that bank to benefit his private businesses? Is it legal? This state bank holds the money of the people of this country. Is it not their duty to properly manage this money and ensure that the people reap the benefits? Was the proper procedure followed when approving the loan of 10 billion rupees from a state bank? News First is keeping watch. More information on this will be divulged in the near future.
The railway strike action, which was scheduled to commence at midnight tonight, has been called off. President of the Railway Station Masters Association says the decision was reached after discussions were held with Minister Dr. Sarath Amunukama this evening. Railway supervisors, controllers and drivers were to take part in the strike action.
Police have arrested a Chinese national on suspicion for attempting to pay a bribe. The arrest was made based on a complaint lodged by an official of the Mahabali Authority's Agunukona Palace Regional Office.
The office of the police media spokesperson said the Chinese national of China State Construction Engineering Corporation, which supplies rocks for the Mathura-Hambantota Expressway, had arrived at the Angunukula Palace Regional Office of the Mahabali Authority to extend the gunpowder license for the B section of the Galwale project. Thereafter, the Angunukula Palace police received a telephone call claiming the Chinese national had attempted to pay a bribe of 20,000 rupees to the manager of the Mahabali office to get the task done. Police arrested the Chinese national and produced him in court after questioning. The Angunukula Palace Magistrates Court ordered the suspect to be remanded until tomorrow and to be produced before the Colombo Chief Magistrates Court.
Meanwhile, the former deputy head of Publicity Department of the Communist Party of China, Liu Wei, was prosecuted today on charges of bribery. According to foreign media reports, the 58-year-old took advantage of various posts to seek benefits of others and accepted a large number of bribes. Last week, two former vice mayors in eastern China who were convicted of bribery were executed.
Another program in the series of lectures titled Rata Rakimu Rata Hadamu, organized by the Janatha Vimukti Peramuna, was held in Polonnaruwa yesterday.
Mahinda Rajapaksa is said to have received $7.6 million, that is 1.1 billion rupees, from a Chinese company, which he had not rejected. Last week, all the details about the numbers of the checks, how they were transferred to the banks and who transferred them were revealed in Parliament. It wouldn't have mattered to us if a Chinese company gave this money to Mahinda in Madamulana, but instead it was given to President Mahinda. Who were these companies? One constructed a port, another airport, another built North Chalet, and the other built the South Container Terminal of the Colombo port. So isn't this a good enough reason for us to assume that these were constructed solely for the purpose of getting money? Or else what other interests does China have to pay money to a Sri Lankan president? We use our mandate to elect a president, and the president who takes the country's decisions accepts money from the companies. These are the so-called rulers. You cannot hide the fact that Ranil Wickremesinghe is involved in the bond scam. His friend is not a citizen of this country. Despite cabinet's opposition, he was appointed and the theft was carried out. It happened on the 27th of February. On the 10th of March, I asked in Parliament, something like this happened, didn't it? He denied, saying nothing like that happened, which instantly proved that it did. So the man scooted off to Singapore. It was Ranil who protected him after the theft, and it was Ranil who helped him flee the country as well. So does this not make him the person behind the theft? What other proof do you need? This kind of evidence is not detrimental to a case. There is something called circumstantial evidence, based on which the court can make a decision. Which is why I say Ranil is directly involved in this deal. The thievery is happening in the palaces.
It has already been revealed that the treasury bond scam caused massive losses to the country, and that it is the largest incident of defrauding state funds in the political history of the country. Through Parliament, civil society, the Committee on Public Enterprises and the report of the Presidential Commission of Inquiry, the manner in which this crime was carried out and the perpetrators were exposed. While this is a major topic of conversation on the political stage, on whose interference is the recovery of these funds and the punishment of the perpetrators being delayed continuously, the people do not want to listen to stories anymore. They want the perpetrators to be punished. The people are watching.
Addressing a media briefing convened by the Socialist Alliance in Colombo today, MP Vasudeva Nanak expressed the following views. Everyone is aware of the Water's Edge case, where following a stern reprimand, the court said that should accept responsibility. But the investigations did not go beyond the decision of the court. The Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation case was filed by me under my name. In that case, the Supreme Court determined guilty of a fraudulent transaction. It was stated that the Hatton National Bank had obtained money for this deal from a company based in Gibraltar. Turns out that company was a fake. I think now the chairman of Hatton National Bank is... In this letter, I have questioned if he has taken measures to find out about this. The Prime Minister had gone to the Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation and held a meeting about its future program. But not for 1 second did he think that there was a case about the Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation at the Supreme Court, who decided to cover up the funds for the Hyatt Hotel. It was the entire board of Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation. Who is in that board? It is... Despite there being clear court determinations on fraudulent business transactions of these businessmen, no measures have been taken to investigate them.
The Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna convened a media briefing in Colombo today.
The terms of these provincial councils ended 10 months ago. Within the next 2 months, 6 of the 9 provincial councils will have been adjourned. 2 or 3 days ago, Mahinda Deshapriya said they cannot hold elections just because of the various tales told by politicians, that they have no power over this and that this is not a duty of the Elections Commission. Mahinda Deshapriya said on behalf of the Elections Commission that this responsibility lies entirely with Parliament and that until Parliament completes a new electoral system, there is no step whatsoever that can be taken by the Elections Commission. The Elections Commission cannot flee their responsibility in this way. They are neglecting their constitutional duty.
It is in Parliament that we can raise our voices to present the problems facing the people of this country. Today, we are not being given time to do this. We are not given time for this, but the JVP, which has 6 members, is given double the time compared to our 70 members. Sampanthan, who has 16, is the opposition leader and time is allotted for the opposition as per his wishes. So where are we to speak? In the Parliament cafeteria? Or are we supposed to speak in the Speaker's chambers? This injustice must be changed. The opposition leaders should be for the entire country. Look at the Hansard. Look through the camera lenses of your media institutions and see whether over the past 3 years and 6 months, the current opposition leader has spoken about any burning issue in the country other than the problem in the north. I say that he is suitable to be the opposition leader in the Northern Provincial Council.
Addressing a media briefing convened by the United National Party in Colombo today, Minister Harin Fernando commented on the establishment of new courts.
The newspaper reports that a new court will be established by the 9th of August. If you think about it from the people's point of view, these special courts are not being set up to take revenge from anyone. It started from among ourselves. Even the Prime Minister went to court and gave evidence. We were severely humiliated for that. We are now being called born thieves.
We are now joined by Azra Azan with your latest weather report.
Very good evening to all our viewers. You're joining me, Azra Hassan, on Weather First. Let's now take a look at the weather forecast for the next few days. Now, strong winds can still be experienced across the island in coastal areas and in the central hills. Also, wind speeds will be increasing in the western and the southern parts of the country, and rough seas can be expected during this effect. If we take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow, now areas like Colombo, Ratnapura and Batiklo will be partly sunny, and on the 1st and the 2nd of next month, showers can be experienced in several areas, especially like in Putlam, Colombo, Ratnapura and Batiklo, and on the 3rd of this month, showers can be experienced in Colombo, Galle and Batiklo districts. Let's now take a look at the weather forecast for Colombo for the next few days.
The 101st birthday of late K. Gunaratnam, who is considered a pioneer in the Sri Lankan cinema industry and a veteran movie producer, is celebrated today.
Born on the 30th of July in 1917 in Atiyadinallur in Jaffna, Kanagasape Gunaratnam was more popular among the masses as K. Gunaratnam. Gunaratnam's first sinhalese movie was Sujata in the year 1953, which was a commercial success. The movie includes the famous song Manaranjana Darshaniya Lanka, a tune that is as famous as the national anthem of the country. K. Gunaratnam is considered as the person who brought back Sir Lester James Pearce into the cinema industry after his commercially unsuccessful movie Recover. He had offered Sir Lester James Pearce a signed cheque without mentioning a value as an invitation to create another movie. On the 30th of March in 1960, the movie Sandesha, produced by K. Gunaratnam and directed by Sir Lester James Pearce, reached the cinemas. The movie Angulimala can be considered as another turning point in the life of K. Gunaratnam. The movies Veera Vijaya, Varadakagada, Radalapiliruva, Duppadage Duka and Divarayo are also key highlights in the life of this great cinema mogul. K. Gunaratnam was severely affected economically in July 1983 when his studio was burned down. On the 9th of August 1989, K. Gunaratnam was shot while travelling in his car by an unidentified gunman.
He produced a series of 25 films, most of which were box office hits. He was instrumental in developing many film stars and actors and actresses in the industry and many technical people. The studio was subject to a major attack. It was set on fire. So they destroyed a major part of the history of the industry, but this senseless attacking of the production facilities and the storage facilities, and some of these prints and negatives were taken away by certain people. We kindly request them to return it so that we can restore some of the films.
Tusita Halolua, who is a chief of staff at a ministry and a director of a key government office, was summoned to the Kadawatha police station today over threatening a journalist. However, he did not arrive at the police station.
Journalist Ushanta Varnakumara lodged a complaint at the Kadawatha police station that Tusita Halolua threatened him when he raised questions regarding a multi-million rupee deal. The parties involved were summoned before the police for investigations today. I was asked to come to the police station for preliminary investigations at 2 p.m. The relevant person had not arrived. He used his personal mobile phone to threaten me. I have the relevant recordings and I have produced them for legal action.
Going back to some local news, the case pertaining to the clash between two factions of the United National Party using cinnamon sticks opposite the Mathura Municipal Council in 2013 was taken up at the Mathura Magistrates Court today.
The case was postponed to the 11th of February next year as 7 defendants in the case failed to appear in court today. Court also issued warrants to arrest the suspects who failed to appear today. Minister of Finance and Mass Media Mangala Samarveera, a defendant in the case, appeared in court today, while former UNP General Secretary Tissa Attanayaka was also present. A group including former Provincial Councillor Attorney at Law Maitri Gunaratna are plaintiffs to the incident.
We have appeared for the hearing and we are ready to testify as well. There are around 60 defendants. The case is constantly being postponed because there is always around 4 or 5 defendants who do not appear for the hearing. There are 3 cases. In every case, all a group of MPs including Mangala Samarveera are involved. Moreover, Sudha Chandrasekhara has given a statement pertaining to this case saying this was directly done as per the interests of the Prime Minister. So there is nothing more to say. The Prime Minister speaks about good governance. Many people are speaking to us, calling on to resolve this case. I have no issue with anyone. We are ready to settle this case. It was postponed to the 11th of February. What else is there to say? Definitely. The public constantly called for a special court to be established to examine the thievery and intimidation of the previous government. We should be thankful to the Justice Minister for the establishment of these courts, though there was a delay.
And with that, wrap up Primetime News. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Sandro Ferdinando.
And I'm Dasnia Thava. Have a very good night.